Mzansi, lebitso la ka ke Thwasa, ke usela Khaza. Back on your screens on Ke Zaka ke lenaneo mme re tla be re hahlaula re ya hodimo le tlase naheng ena. Ke Zaka wa tseba ke re retela ditokvel. Ke tlile ke jaifa ma ba bona kgetlong lena ke a bua. Etsa bonnete ba hore o tsama le rona ha re etela dibaka ka ho fapana. Ke Zaka, ke tjhelete, ke tjhintjhi. What's baba?
Lovely. So, for many years, stokvels and burial societies have been part of South Africa's savings culture, making it possible for a group of people to contribute equal funds towards a common investment goal. To educate and highlight the importance of being financially savvy, the popular TV show Ke Zaka will tomorrow return for its 5th season on SABC2 at 12:30. Partnering with First National Bank, the show features real-life, inspiring and compelling stories about groups of people who harness financial literacy to make their lives better. To tell us more, we're joined in studio by Thabiso Masudubele, who is the executive producer of Ke Zaka, and Vongani Mageza, First National Bank's retail marketing head. It's so good to have both of you in studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to be here.
This is such an important program because, you know, when we are talking about stokvels and educating people, but in such an energetic way, which we saw from the promo. I love that. Vongani, as a bank, why is it important with you to partner with Ke Zaka?
So, as FNB, we really believe in empowering people to change their situations, obviously financially. And looking at what stokvels mean and are in South Africa, we're very much about community, communal, and everyone. I mean, if you know in South Africa, chances are you're part of a stokvel, you've been blessed by a stokvel, your mom, your aunts, you know, and it's just about the community. But also for us, it was quite an important realization that it's not just about the group saving, but it's also where people go in order to get their own personal financial breakthroughs. And we just looked at ourselves and we're like, actually, this is a great place to connect with people in a real, authentic way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 5th season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has got to tell you its popularity and how it's helping South Africans, but perhaps you can give us a little bit of a look into how it has helped South Africans in financial education.
Yeah, I think what we set out to do was to create a platform that makes it easy for people to understand, you know, what would ordinarily be termed complex financial things, like understanding interest rates, what you get, so that people become confident to be able to engage with financial institutions and ask the right questions, but also people to accept that they're part of something that's an integral part of South African communities, and it's actually a vehicle that's helped a lot of people. I mean, it's taken people through varsity. I think I'm a recipient. I went through varsity through stokvel money partly. And it's done a lot of things. I mean, the travel stokvels, there are all sorts of things. So we just help people get in touch with the right people who'd give them the right information that's credible and reliable.
Yeah, and that's so important because, you know, when we talk about education around stokvels, this is where I want to ask you, because a lot of people feel sort of, okay, I can't afford to join a stokvel. But the question is it for everybody? Can everybody or anybody join a stokvel?
And the answer is yes. One of the things that we've learned over the years is that there are so many different types of stokvels. I mean, you get birthday stokvels. You get recently we met in Umlazi, a group that buys cows, literally.
Oh wow!
And they actually share them in quarters. So you get a stokvel for literally everything, and the amounts vary. I mean, there are stokvels that contribute 30 rand. There are stokvels that contribute 30,000 a week. So they vary. So the answer probably would be a yes. There is a stokvel for someone.
For everybody, for someone.
It's the concept of collective.
Yeah.
I think the driving force is the concept of collective.
So let's bring FNB into this. Stokvels, FNB, help me understand. How does it work for the bank?
So I think for us, firstly, it's about connecting with people. Secondly, we actually have great products that are geared at, firstly, stokvels, which are digital, which also answer some of the problems that stokvels are facing, things like security, things like money disappearing. You know, the story about the chairperson disappearing with the money.
Yeah.
Our offer and our products have, you know, visibility for all stokvel members, lots of security around it. But also for the individual, we offer great products for the people. When we talk about financial literacy and getting people to understand how to budget, they can do that on our app. How to save, we've got different savings products for the individual as well as for the collective. We've got things like collective home buying. We've got great first-time home loans for first-time buyers. We have so much on offer, and for us it's really about showing people how they can better themselves. Firstly, in the communities, because of the collective and the community that the stokvels, it just works with how South Africans are, but also as individuals. So for us it was, when we looked at it, we thought, actually, it fits because we're about help. That's what our brand is about. And stokvels at the core and at the heart of it are about help. So it just connects.
And the reality is, if you look at the majority of South Africans, bank loans seem like almost an impossibility because it's very, very hard to access bank loans. It's not a secret, but it is. There's got to be so much in place in order for you to do this. However, through working in a stokvel and having the ability to go in this route where it's almost like a mass savings account, it's much better and much easier. Would you say that?
I mean, there's many ways to access good credit, if I could put it that way. But also, there's ways to access money that you need outside of applying for credit, if you know what I'm saying. And I think stokvels do offer that. But I also think stokvels can help people to build wealth so that they can qualify for the good credit that they need in their lives.
So obviously, I mean, one asks 5 seasons of this, you know, the content. I mean, does it ever run dry? But I can imagine with the stories that you're covering, you can never run dry. What are some of the most interesting stokvels that you've covered? I mean, if you look back and say, who would have thought? I mean, you're saying you were a beneficiary in education, but just in general, something that's popped up on the show and you think, that's amazing.
I think one that stands out, there are quite a few that stand out, but there's one in particular. It was called Masedi Education Group. We covered in season 4. I think it's a group of ladies. So what they then started doing was coming together and contributing towards building infrastructure, educational infrastructure that would benefit the communities. And then the communities, because they didn't have access to credit, the stokvel would then build the infrastructure, and then the community would contribute minimal amounts towards paying off that capital amount that would have been spent by the group. But this would happen over a long period of time. So the group didn't necessarily see this as an investment venture per se. They saw it as plowing back into the communities where they're from, where, you know, educational infrastructure is dilapidated and so on. That's one of them. I mean, other fascinating groups that come out to mind is if you go to Tshwane, the types of stokvels you have there, they call them the social in Tshwane. And I mean, the amount of cash that flows around there is fascinating. People buy cars for cash with these stokvels. So you have local entrepreneurs, you know, vendors, street vendors who actually run these stokvels, and they contribute this money towards buying stock collectively. And the amount of progress they've made over the years, I mean, some have moved from being street vendors to owning taverns. Some have moved on to owning bottle stores and so on through participating in the different stokvels that they've had.
Fantastic. As a bank, do you help people partner up with different stokvels? Because if I come to you and say, I want to be a part of a stokvel, but I'm an individual, I'm not necessarily a part of one already that is invested in your accounts or bank, can you assist me?
So actually, Thabiso and I were having an offline discussion just around how we see the show and the TV program as a start of something much more amazing, because there's so much that we can work on together in terms of really turning people's lives around financially, partnering with stokvels, creating more education, creating platforms, talking. So there are lots of opportunities that can come in the future just around this is our first season, hopefully, and I believe it will be a very successful
this is your
one.
first season
partnering
That's
with
fantastic.
them.
So you
for
kind
us,
of never
we
know where this
are-
is going now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just think with what Ke Zaka stands for and what FNB stands for and what we're looking for, I really think the opportunities are endless, to be honest.
Amazing. So, I mean, I can see the times behind you. It's here on SABC2 at 12:30 on a Wednesday, which it kicks off tomorrow, and then on Fridays, SABC1 at 4:30. So, you know, appealing to a wide audience. But perhaps we can leave it here and ask you sort of some things that we can expect in this next season. What are the things you'll be focusing in on?
I think what we've always saw, and this was part of the discussion I was having with Vongani, is that as we've done Ke Zaka over the years, one of the missing loops, I'd say, has been you give people information and then they still need to transact. So they need to engage a reputable institution towards transacting. So for us, this partnership is a wonderful opportunity where as we provide this financial education and people say we're interested in buying property as a collective, we're then able to say through our partnership with FNB, there is a product that caters for precisely what you're doing. So for us, it then means that we're providing full house support to stokvels right up until they transact in a manner that would benefit them.
Amazing. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow, 12:30, making its debut again, but not for the first time. This is the 5th season of this incredible program, Ke Zaka, which is going to educate you on stokvels. Thabiso Masudubele, executive producer, and Vongani Mageza, who is FNB's retail marketing head, partnering with the program for the first time and talking to us about the return of this popular TV show.